All right. Welcome, Leena, our latest hire with VIDA. Thanks for joining
Thank you
me.
so much, Maddie.
Yay. So this is a get to know you better call. I'll ask you some questions about kind of a little bit about work and your background, and then just really Leena, the person, what you're all about and some of your likes and dislikes. And so I came up with some of these questions. They're just some are totally random, and they're from like a speed dating website. So you never know what the next one is going to be.
Well, typically, I'm not very successful at dates, so we'll see how this goes.
But you're not very shy, so I feel like you'll be all good. Don't worry. Maybe this will be a dating promo video that you can use.
Yeah, definitely on my hand should go and share that.
So you are joining VIDA, rejoining VIDA because you did some volunteer work in a research analyst kind of capacity a few months back in the summer, I believe. And then this new position came up from our quarterly where we were, we've had this community partnerships program for a long time, but it never really gathered steam. Like, it needed some energy behind it. And the idea is that VIDA will partner with businesses either locally or nationally who could, offer a discount to tenants or lean on the tenant base if they had job opportunities, give us kind of first right of refusal to our tenants, provide some kind of product or service that would help tenants kind of get ahead in life or improve their quality of life or health or financial well-being, anything like that, with a good deal, a good cost, and so it's mutually beneficial. They get more clients. VIDA gets more sticky with our tenants, where we have more and more and more to offer them at a low cost, so we can still keep rents affordable. And you are now taking charge of this project.
Yeah, I am. I'm very excited. It's something that is a feel good. I feel like this is something I'm learning a lot. I have to go and Google a lot of things, like how to write a partnership proposal and all of that. So Google's been my best friend, but it feels great because, especially like I think I said it to a few people when we were on the call, was that when we chatted with the building ambassadors, I figured how important it is to bring down the cost of essentials like baby food and diapers. And of course, I knew this was an impactful role, but until and unless I really heard it from them, it just felt like, wow, like through my work, I'm able to contribute and do more than just getting a paycheck and going back home. So
yeah, very awesome. So it's always a win-win too, when even on this side, you as a new team member are energized by the work and you get paid and you're driving value and making people's lives better and furthering kind of the VIDA mission.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you are here in Halifax, Nova Scotia, where our head office is, and recent graduate. What did you take at St. Mary's?
Yeah, so I majored in finance, but fun fact, I changed my major 4 times during my time at SMU. So I started as a computer science student, then I moved on to engineering. Then I loved psychology, so I took a lot of psychology classes, and then somehow I figured I just love money and finance. So that's how I took finance, and I'm so glad I did because honestly, it's something that I thoroughly enjoyed. And I also think this knowledge is so important, even moving forward in my life, even though I don't see myself working at an investment firm ever. But
yeah, you can still apply that knowledge into different industries wherever you are, for sure. And I should say, with VIDA, like we definitely have some focus in terms of, who's our customer, what's the right type of property that fits our business models, that kind of thing. We're focused. But then in terms of innovating, finding new ways to do things, we're very fast to pivot and go in a new direction and not scared of change. So, changing your major that many times, that might be like a perk for the VIDA team. It's a good sign.
Yeah. Well, if you want me to talk to a chemist, I could do that. If you want me to go find the best therapist, I could help you with that too. So.
Love that. So tell me, Leena, about your family growing up. Did you have brothers and sisters? Where did you grow up? Tell me a little more.
Yeah, so I grew up in India in it's not really a small city. It's a medium-sized city. It's named Kolkata. And we are known for our literature and poems and loads of art. So I grew up with a lot of like literature and art and poem. I'm a big fan myself. And then I have 4 siblings actually. And I am the youngest one, and my siblings are quite older than me because my oldest brother is 15 years older than me, and they don't have any age gap. And then 11 years later, I was born all of a sudden as a surprise. So yeah, it's been very interesting because growing up, I've seen my siblings go through their teenage and then go through university. So it's like I've lived it through them once and I'm going through it again.
And you're very high energy for a surprise baby 11 years later.
I would say I get that from my mom. She is super high energy. She's always doing something. And growing up, she's always like, she was my best friend when I was a kid and a teenage. So very close with my mom and my sister. My sister is essentially my second mom, I would say. She takes care of everything. Even now that I'm here in Toronto for a few days, she's cooking for me. And it's even, I feel kind of entitled to it. Not probably great, but I do.
Love that. So yes, that's right. You're visiting your sister in Toronto. And is the rest of your family still in Calcutta? Are they different spots?
Yeah, so all of our siblings, including myself, we did our schooling in North America. My oldest brother went to school in Windsor. He is currently going to Dal Med School, but that's a new St. John branch, not the one in Halifax. My sister lives in Toronto, and I have another brother who lives in Texas.
Oh, very cool. Which part of Texas?
Austin.
In Austin. Okay. Yeah. I feel like Austin's a city that as soon as the name comes up, Ron goes on for a while about how much he loves Austin and like any chance to go there, he always goes back. So I think Ron will be happy to hear that there's another person in Austin who might know where the best restaurants are and that kind of stuff.
Oh, he's gonna get along with my brother because my brother has a mask that somehow says Texas on it. And I was like, I don't know, I feel like Americans that much here in Canada, you probably shouldn't be wearing this. That was a joke. That's probably a little inappropriate.
That's okay. So does your family have any like traditions? Or do you still get together with your siblings somehow? Or is it if not, what's like a tradition that you used to do kind of growing up?
That's a really good one. I can't think of a tradition we really had, but one thing that we always did was, and I think a lot of families do that, we always ate all of our meals together when we were living together. So be it breakfast, lunch after we came back from school, and also dinner. So that was a thing in our family.
Love that. So you must like it when we do team lunches at work and get everybody together.
Oh yeah, I would love
that. So we have one right on Thursday. I hope you saved it in your calendar. Good stuff.
Yes.
Speaking of lunch, do you have any like dietary restrictions or allergies or things like that? Or even preferences or things that you hate to eat?
I don't have any allergies, but there are a lot of things that I don't like to eat. And let me think. Um, so growing up, I never really liked veggies, and I think like even though I'm an adult, it's still stuck with me somehow. And so carrots, I don't like them. And I would say the other thing that I don't like is it might come as a surprise, peanut butter.
Oh, wow. That's
For it's not I'm allergic to it. People think I'm allergic to it, but for some reason I'm not a big fan.
I like it. Do you like other nuts? Or it's
Yeah, I actually like nuts a lot, but not just,
like
and I
peanut?
like peanuts.
Mm,
Yeah.
just not as peanut butter.
No.
What about what's what are some of like your activities that you like to do for fun, that kind of thing?
Yeah, I do quite a few activities actually because when I like to be doing something all the time. So I love doing yoga. I'm very, very enthusiastic about learning about mindfulness and not just meditation, but like mindfulness in painting, mindfulness in reading, and how that can become such a huge such an important tool for mental health because I am a big advocate for mental health, and that's why I love learning about mindfulness. I love learning about psychology, philosophy, and different kinds of spiritual beliefs. I do a lot of reading on that in my free time. Love spending time with friends and family whenever I get chance, especially my best friend and me. Whenever we get a chance, we are always together. And yeah, the other thing that I love to do during summer is I love going on hikes and being in the nature.
Mm, that's probably great for mindfulness too. My sister used to say like going for a walk in the forest or a hike, she would call that a forest bath. Like
Oh,
that was like a term in her school. She did environmental studies at Dal for her master. Yeah. What's after your bachelor? Master's, right?
masters.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that was what she did. Um, but yeah, that is awesome. We used to do Chrissy and I used to do yoga in the boardroom once a week at lunch and just do
Oh, wow.
yoga with Adrian video. So maybe we should reignite that little ritual with you while you're here too.
Yeah, absolutely. Adrian, her yoga videos are literally a workout. Like every time, like I'm gonna do something relaxing, like go onto YouTube and follow a video. But if I'm following Adrian's video, it feels like I'm literally doing a workout. Right.
I love the with following like a video or having a personal trainer. I love that you can just turn your brain off and just like follow what they say. To me, that is like part of the joy is that I don't have to focus or plan anything. I just get to just go and do the work, you know?
Yeah, and it's such a good stress reliever too with yoga because it's when I sit down and meditate, there's so many benefits I get out of that, but I find that way more difficult compared to doing yoga because it's like I'm moving my body, but somehow my mind just follows it, and I just love the effect of that. Yeah.
Yeah. Love that. Very cool. Thanks for sharing that. What about what's the best place that you've ever been on vacation? Your favorite spot?
Hmm. Um, I wasn't on vacation there, but my favorite spot would be Vancouver. I went there to represent St. Mary's University, I think in a couple of years, in 2019, actually. And oh my God, I just loved everything about Vancouver, the city, and everything around Vancouver.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Was that like a case competition or was it Enactus? What was the reason you were there?
You got it. It was an Enactus trip. We were presenting at the Enactus Nationals, so.
Can you tell our team what Enactus is?
Yeah. So Enactus is a non-for-profit organization that empowers entrepreneurial students to take actions in the community to drive positive change. As I'm saying this, it feels like I'm presenting again on Enactus. So essentially, quite a few universities across Canada and globally have Enactus chapters on campus. And it's a student society where students get together to run entrepreneurial projects that impact the community in a positive manner. So I started off as a project manager on one of their youth empowerment programs. And following that, I became the co-president of the society. And then I was looking after all the different projects that the Enactus chapter at St. Mary's University did. And that was definitely my highlight of my undergrad for sure.
Sure. It's very cool. Like whenever I meet somebody who was part of Enactus, I just think that's like somebody who was putting what they were learning in class through university to use in real life all the way through, so it's a whole new level of experience that you get to bring to the workplace after and into your career. So yeah, kudos to you. Love Enactus very much. So that makes me happy.
Absolutely.
What would you say, I guess, as a leader, because as president of a chapter, you were leading presumably a pretty big group by then, 60 plus?
Yeah.
So
it was 100 plus by the time, yeah.
So what would you say were like the top challenges as a president of a group of students that are all volunteer of that size?
Yeah, even though it is volunteer run, you would be surprised at the engagement that we had because kudos to your professors and also students who are part of the society. The culture is so welcoming. We have a sense of belonging and everyone takes initiative because we were all A, full-time students, B, we all had part-time jobs, and C, it was almost a full-time commitment at Enactus. So something that I specifically found most challenging was making sure that the time that everyone's putting on the team, they're getting reward back for it. The work was really rewarding, but making sure that we're all getting equal opportunities and we're all getting to do the kind of work that aligns with our future goals as well. And we not to say there were lack of opportunities that let us like go and show our skills, but when the opportunities came through, we were all very interested to do it. We all loved, and for most part, it was a team of outgoing students. So when we got a chance of going and presenting, say in front of these Sobeys executives or in front of like all the other people, there was like, we had to choose what made sense. And me being a leader and me being a student at the same time, a lot of those opportunities were very, very enticing to myself as well. So putting myself behind and like taking care of the team, it just was very, and I'm not a saint, so it wasn't like I was always super happy that, oh my God, I'm not doing it. But, taking that step back and giving that opportunity to someone and finding the right person to give that opportunity to was one of the most challenging work. And I have seen myself grow as a person through that challenge. So.
Yeah. And did you deliver the news like, yes, you're the one who's going to present, and I'm sorry, not this time. Here's some stuff to work on. Did you deliver that? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So it would be primarily me, and of course there was a lot of support from our professors, giving us a lot of training actually how to go and communicate. So no one got upset, and of course, some people are going to get upset. That's also a part of the learning how to deal with that. And the other piece was sometimes it was not just presenting, we were traveling too. So we had the opportunity five of us to travel to San Francisco. So we had a full application process to figure out who out of, I think around like 35 to 40 people had applied, who was going to go. Mm-hmm. And some of the people who had applied were easily committing 20-25 hours a week to the society, along with like everything else they had going on. So it was a very tough news to break that you're not a chosen
Yeah.
candidate to travel with us. And end of the day, they were also my friends. So it wasn't, and they were doing it for free. And they were very excited for the opportunity. So all of that became really tricky. But like I said, it was a great learning experience.
Very cool. Good for you. And so just to give my background related to that. So when I was at St. Mary's and joined, it wasn't called Enactus before, it was called SIFE before, and we were like 12 people. And we had kind of a similar opportunity to go to Malaysia to watch like the world competition, because we were just starting to get a little bit better in Canada. And it was like Memorial University won every single year, and nobody had a chance to beat them. But so they were hoping other teams were going to start to like build capacity, but it was very similar. Like we had to apply for a grant in order to go, and there was a tough selection process for who got to go to Malaysia, because of course it's like pretty cool opportunity in university. But yeah, so I love
Yeah, and the toughest thing about that, Maddie, it's so cool. Like I heard that it was called SIFE. I actually have never met someone who had been part of the team at that time. So
sounds like I'm old.
no, that's not what I meant. I just meant like how much the team has grown since then. And the other piece of that process was like the co-presidents got to go. And it was given. We didn't have to go and apply for anything, but it was the other students who had to go and apply, and they were our friends. And it just felt kind of wrong that, oh my God, I just get to go and they have to go through this process and also hear no. So yeah.
Yeah, love that. Well, we went way over time, but that's okay. Thanks so much for sharing openly like that. I'm going to pass this along to the rest of the team too. And just again, we're so happy and lucky to have you on the team. Can't wait to get together on Thursday and have some lunch and hang out and play some games and stuff like that. And work with you for the next couple months for this pilot.
Yeah, me too. Super excited. Thanks, Maggie.
Yeah.
Maddie, sorry.